Hi guys, my name's Gigi Edgley. I'm the host of Jim Henson's Creature Shop Challenge, and I also play Chiana on Farscape, and you're watching Brothers Boy.
Hey guys, welcome back. As you can see from my background, we are here for our final She-Hulk review. I've got Chris and Daniel here with me, and we're about to talk about episode 9. If you haven't watched it yet, please log off, go watch it, and come back because you're about to get some really big spoilers here for this final episode of She-Hulk. My first impressions of the show, I really enjoyed it. I felt like I was reading a John Byrne comic of She-Hulk. It was completely insane and crazy, and the people who have never read a She-Hulk comic had no idea what was going on. The number of Easter eggs and things that were thrown in this episode was insane. It starts off with a bang and ends but what no one would have expected to see. Daniel, what was your first impression?
My first impressions, I talked on our last review about subverting expectations. This definitely subverted expectations. I thought that we were going to get wall-to-wall action with this episode, but they went the absolute bonkers direction differently, and we got the fourth wall just being completely shattered with a Hulk smash, really. I'm absolutely loved it. It was hilarious, and I really hope we get to see more of She-Hulk throughout the MCU and another season because I really love the format of this series. How about you, Chris? What was your first impressions?
All I can say is wow. I mean, I never expected to see like Josh said, a John Byrne comic come to life like it did in this episode. It's just how many people were watching She-Hulk, got about 20 minutes in and went, "What's wrong with my Disney Plus? Why did it just break?" Because we got thrown back to the main page of Disney Plus and we're going, and of course we should have known it was all part of the plan. Just beautifully done. And to all those haters out there who are thinking, "Oh, this is not Marvel. Marvel's doing a terrible job. Marvel's not making good shows." Marvel is reaching a broad audience. She-Hulk has reached another area of fans who would not go sit through an Endgame or a Black Panther or a Civil War. There are there are fans who want to be entertained and laugh and have a good time and enjoy. And it's just like the wall in the comic book store. If every comic book was the same story, they would be the most boring comics ever. But we have diversity and it's beautiful. And I just am so thrilled that they broke the status quo and didn't give us that giant fight scene that we were all expecting. Oh, here comes the fight scene. This is how it's going to end. Action, action, action. Wrong. Here comes the Disney Plus page, and we're going to step up and change status quo. So, yeah, over first impressions, just a very well done episode. And like Daniel said, not what anybody was expecting, but us who are true fans of the Byrne and the Dan Slott era of uh, She-Hulk are going to get that feeling like they're reading through the pages of the comic and the comic pages are getting ripped. As far as favorite scenes are concerned, there were so many in this show, but I would have to say probably my favorite, and because I am a child of the late 70s and 80s, was the opening sequence of the show. We got a mirror image of the old Incredible Hulk show that used to come on TV, almost frame by frame, and we were seeing the old show in one side and She-Hulk in the other, and it was just really cool to see that. It brought back a lot of nostalgia. How about you, Daniel? What was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene had to be anything involving the second she just stopped the world and went to Marvel Studios and started talking to K.E.V.I.N, Kevin, and to the writing staff and everything like that. That whole sequence was just one of the best things I've seen on a television show. It was just hilarious. And it also did the thing that I really do think other meta TV shows and movies don't really do, is when it points out as problems, it actually changes them. It doesn't just go, hey, look at that. We're doing the same thing that everybody else has done, but we're pointing it out so that we're cool to do that. No, this show actually went in and said, okay, that's boring. Let's do this a different way. And it worked so well on this series. Also, kind of worked really well on the series Community too, which I would not be surprised to see several people have been working from Community to Marvel. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody from Community was involved in this because it has a lot of the same type of humor as well. But yeah, I loved everything about that scene, that whole sequence. How about you, Josh? What was your favorite?
I mean, the opening from the opening, like Chris said, that was a great one. For me, I love the ending when you get She-Hulk with her family and Mark Linn-Baker shows back up as dad. I was just loving that, him grilling Daredevil Matt Murdock like he's a dad to a guy dating his daughter. I just enjoyed that immensely. I love the fact that Daredevil is a little more lighthearted. Yes, he can be rough around the edges, but the lightheartedness was great in this series with Daredevil. You know, that scene at the end, they're all sitting around the picnic table, just made it for me. I'm like, this is what She-Hulk is about. This is her. This was a show all about her. As far as overall impressions, the whole show, the whole series has been great. You never knew what was coming next. You never knew who was coming next. We got Hulk in this episode. We got Abomination in this episode. We got Wong in this episode. We got the literal receptionist from Marvel Studios in this episode in the office, made her sign the NDA that they actually have to sign when you visit Marvel Studios. That was the office. They filmed in the Marvel Studios office for this episode. Overall, I thought it was a great show, a great way to do it. Even down to that one cameo we got, which I'm interested to see where they go. And you guys know who I'm talking about. Hulk shows up at the picnic.
Yeah,
Yep.
we finally got Scar in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that was great.
Yes,
So
I'm interested to see where they go with that. Yeah, I about lost it when she was going into the Marvel Studios because I'm like, is Kevin Feige getting ready to be on the screen in this show? I really thought we were getting Kevin Feige, but I love the meta twist they did with it.
I think he's said publicly he does not really want to appear on screen, so that was kind of his way around that for this, but that still was great.
Yep. Daniel, what was your overall?
Overall impressions for the entire series, I just loved it. I loved the fact that it was so self-referential. I loved the fact that it was just funny. It was a sitcom and it was funny. The humor really hit like almost all the time for me. I loved everything about it. I love Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk. I think she really did embody the character of Jennifer Walters and She-Hulk very well, and just how everything in the Marvel universe where it's so big and so much high stakes that we just see how life is for a lawyer who happens to have superpowers and like how silly some of the things could be for that is just really great. Great sitcom fodder in my opinion. Just the whole series overall, I've loved it. And like I said earlier, hope to see more of her. I've heard that she's on the cast list for Born Again for Daredevil, so we're going to see her sooner rather than later. But I'm hoping that's not the end of it. Maybe just maybe she's going to be in these pair of Avengers movies that are coming up in the next few years. I'm really hoping we get to see her there as well. And I really hope she kind of broadens her footprint across the MCU and maybe even into a certain fantastic group of 4 individuals as well. But anyways, I'm loving it. How about you, Chris?
yeah, just a lot of fun. I enjoyed watching this series. I'm kind of sad it's over. Can we hurry up and get season 2? Like Daniel said, hopefully we'll get sated a little bit when we see her in Daredevil. Hopefully it'll be more than just a 1 or 2 off episode appearance, so we might get a little bit more. But I really feel like Marvel plans on using her a lot in the future. I think the whole Wong tie-in is going to be very important in the very near future. Um, the episode itself this time was probably by far my second favorite. The Daredevil one's still going to hold top for me because that was just a great episode when you saw her accept her powers and start really using them. as a superhero. But I just really enjoyed this show. Watching her break the fourth wall, watching her go into the writer's room with the real writers and be like, hey, is this what you're writing? Because this kind of sucks. We don't want this. Um, so, her worst enemy, Hulk King, winds up being the dude that's been chasing her the whole show and is kind of hoity toity and just not this, he thinks he's better than everybody. And just give a nod to the creators of this show for knowing what the public was going to think about this show and what the overall outrage was going to be, and going ahead before they even released it and creating the intelligentsia, which would be a bunch of He-Man woman hater club for for She-Hulk. And we get I'm looking for Spanky and Alfalfa back there, talking bad about the show. And so, yeah, just a beautifully done show. I enjoyed it immensely. Marvel outdid themselves this time. Can't wait to see what they do next. And I absolutely think that we will get Tatiana Maslany in the two Secret Wars. Because come on, we got to have just about every Avenger we can get in those movies.
Only one complaint with this episode.
What's that?
Madison didn't come back.
Yeah.
She's still watching TV at Wongers.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So very, very, very cool. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well as we did. If you didn't, we live in a free country. You're entitled to your opinion. You think you hate it, that's fine. You can hate it. And we'll keep liking it because we like it. All right, guys, that's all we've got for the She-Hulk review. I'm sure we got more shows coming up in the near future that you can check out, and we will be reviewing those as we go. I know we've got a couple of movies coming out over the holiday season as well that you could also check out, and we're going to review those as well. Coming up, if you want to meet us or come see us live somewhere, we're going to be in Wilmington, North Carolina on November 5th at the Wilmington Toy Comic and Hobby Show. We're going to be there broadcasting live. We're going to be having things for sale. We got a lot of fun stuff for sale. Got to make money for the channel. And we'll be there all day. Josh and I will be there. So try to get down there and see us. It'll be on Saturday, November 5th. Then the next thing we have on Saturday, November 19th, go ahead and mark your calendars. We will be in Havelock, North Carolina at the Havelock Tourist and Events Center for the probably first ever Havelock Comic-Con. So I've heard yesterday from the guy that's heading it up that he has 57 vendors right now with the possibility of a lot more. So yeah, come to another Comic-Con, come dressed up, come get your picture taken by us, subscribe to the channel, and you'll get to see yourself in cosplay on our channel. And until the next video, we will see you at the shop.